FM News Talk 97.1.
On-demand audio.
Fox News Radio's Tonya J Powers is joining us right now. She's been covering this story that really, with the apology, is still unfolding this morning. Tonya, how are you?
It's been quite the story. It has overshadowed so many other things in the news, frankly, and now the apology that kind of keeps it going. That was posted on Ryan Lochte's Twitter account in the last couple of hours. His first sentence, I think, is really interesting and very telling. He says, "I want to apologize for my behavior last weekend, for not being more careful and candid in how I described the events of that early morning, and for my role in taking the focus away from the many athletes fulfilling their dreams of participating in the Olympics." And that is exactly what is going on.
So I assume that Ryan Lochte, who has been a popular athlete for a while, and I know he's got some endorsements and all that, doesn't have a PR team who's telling him that a social media apology is not quite the same as coming out and saying it on camera. I wonder when he's going to get the message that he's going to have to talk about this.
Well, from what I understand, he has hired a PR person, and that may be why the apology has now been released. But, yeah, he's going to have to, at some point, talk about this before it's, talk about it, get on camera, like you said, and before this is going to go away. And even then, it may not for a while.
Tonya, do we have any indication as to how serious the Brazilians are now that he's been charged with maybe extraditing him and this other athlete?
Well, that's a good question because you have, three of them, the other three, the two of them that were pulled off the plane yesterday to talk to police, they were treated as witnesses. They gave statements to police and they were allowed to leave. I believe they're already back. The third one that was also still in Rio, Jimmy Fegan, was told he would be able to leave. A judge told him he had to pay a payment /fine/donation, whatever you want to call it. It's been called all three things, actually, of $10,000 before he would be able to get his passport back and go home. That is supposed to happen at some point today. So Ryan Lochte was the only one that was already here.
Yeah. So, it sounds to me like the Brazilians were already pretty worried about what their image was going to be surrounding these Olympics, and they're not going to let this go easily, are they?
No. This was one of the reasons they wanted to host the Olympics in the first place, was to, make sure that they kind of gave the message to the rest of the world, hey, we aren't, we've got more going on than, rampant street crime and then the things that they get, kind of a bad rap for. And this did not do anything to make the Team USA look good. It also didn't do anything to, dispel that notion, because even though that's not what happened, that's still where the story went.
Yeah, that's a good point. I appreciate your time, Tonya J Powers from the Fox News Radio. You have a great weekend.
Anytime, thanks.
All right, thank you. Yeah, that's interesting stuff. So Lochte's not really backing away from the fact, and we brought this up the other day. If you don't speak Portuguese, maybe he didn't realize his buddy vandalized the bathroom, and suddenly they're in a cab and somebody's pointing a gun at him. Now, if they were intoxicated on top of everything else, you can see where your perception of that might be a little different. But the fact that the other three didn't back him up in his story to the police immediately leads you to the conclusion that they were lying, right? If you say one thing and then somebody can turn around and immediately prove you wrong, like the director of the FBI, it's pretty obvious to the world that you're lying. You're lying. And I don't know. We can keep hammering on that, but it's a story that's not going to go away till Ryan Lochte it comes out and talks about it. Social media is not going to get the job done in this particular case. He just needs to take his lumps.